Hello class, I'm your instructor, Professor Frost, and I just wanted to go over some things with the interview assignment. I want to make sure that you understand that your resume is in chronological order. That means that you start with the most current job first, and then you work your way backwards. And that chronological order is the same for every other entry you have under different labels in your resume. So do make sure that you start with the most current job first, work your way backwards, the most current club membership, organization membership, and work your way backwards, the most current certificate that you've received, and make sure to put the date, and then work your way backwards. Same with schools attended, the same concept, and you shouldn't have any problems. Make sure that you don't use a template that's going to divide your resume up, what's on it so much, like over here you've got the label, and then way over here you've got the information that pulls a person's eyes apart, and it makes it harder to read. So keep everything pretty close wise when it comes to the headings, and then the information, maybe a few spaces away from the longest heading that you have. Okay, so that'll make your resume look nice. You can bold the dates or the labels, and then also your heading. You want to make sure you have a heading and that you put your email address and also your phone number. It says on this handout that I gave you, it says stay focused. Remember that your resume is a marketing tool, not a detailed description of your personal and professional life. So do make sure that you use bullets. Don't use real long paragraphs of information. That would be the case if you had like maybe 10 years experience in a few different jobs, and you could do that in that case. But for the purposes that we're doing, you want to make sure that you use short bullets, and it's easier for the person reading it to go bam, bam, bam right through the resume. Otherwise, they'll get tired of reading all of your information. Also, don't be redundant in the words that you use. Be clear and to the point with those responsibilities. The present job is in present tense. Anything after that is in past tense as well. That's very important. All right, and then I put a bunch of examples of different resumes for you to look at, so that in case you don't have a lot of experience, maybe you're fresh out of high school, you can put anything from dog walking to babysitting to yard care, anything that shows any type of responsibility. You want to list it and use those words, use those action words that show that responsibility. All right, so next is the cover letter. Make sure that you follow the format for the cover letter that I attached to the assignment. Now that's in the chapter 7 also, and each paragraph has information that you would include in that cover letter. So you got to have your return address, you've got to have the recipient's address. In between that, you've got to have the date. If you have a heading, that's fine also. Make sure you include your name, your phone number, and your email as well. The more you have it on there, the better it is for the person that's reading that resume. And then the greeting, dear Mr. or dear Mrs. or dear doctor or dear attorney, whoever it is that you're sending to, make sure that you use their title as well. Then you move on to the first paragraph as to where you heard about the job and that you're actually applying for the job. If you don't say that, then they don't know what it is, why you're sending the letter. So do make sure that you put that you are applying for the position that you're applying for, and also where you heard about that job. That's important so that companies know where they get their best hirees from. Then the first paragraph, you've got to, in that same paragraph, tell them why you're interested in the job. And then move on and then list, not list, but tell them what are some of the skills that you have that make you qualified for this job, and that you would like to have the job, and why you want to have the job, why you think you're a fit for the job. That's the word that I'm looking for. Why you're fit for this job. You can list personal characteristics too, like you get along with others well, you communicate well, different traits like that. You can use some of your Keirsey knowledge that you learned about yourself in that paragraph as well. You don't have to say it's from Keirsey, but you can use some of that knowledge as well. Then you move on, and then you let them know in the last paragraph that your resume is attached, and you thank them for taking the time to read your resume, and also how they can get a hold of you once again. Because some people can, if you work, you've got to let them know when is the best time that they can get a hold of you. All right, and then finally you have the thank you at the very end once again, and then also you type your name first, skip 3 or 4 spaces so that you'll have enough room to have a signature on there, and then you sign it. So lastly is the mock interview sheet. So in that sheet, you want to go ahead and have an opening from the perspective of the interviewer, not the interviewee, but the interviewer. Like you're the one that's doing the interviewing. All right, but so if, say for instance, I'm the interviewer, then I'm the one that's going to make up the questions for the particular job that you're applying for. So you have to have that opening that has a greeting, ask the person to please have a seat, offer them something to drink, make them comfortable, maybe an icebreaker question or two, like, wow, it's supposed to get up 105. I wish we had that nice spring weather back again. So any kind of icebreaker that you want to use is fine. And then you can start with an easy question and move on to the questions. Oh, also in the opening, you need to tell them how long the interview will take, and also if there's any other steps in the interview, like say, for instance, I did an interview once where it was a board interview. There was a committee and there was about 5 or 6 people. After I finished answering questions to that, I had to do like a mock news story with the actual cameras on me and everything. And then after that, I had to actually write a press release or type it up. So some interviews have more than one part to it. So you have to explain that in the opening of the interview process. Then you go on and you have those 10 questions. It's important that you sequence the questions, because when you ask, say, an open question, okay, then you can move on to a closed question or a follow-up question. Whatever type of question it is, you want to sequence those questions. Now, granted, during the interview, as the interviewer, you may want to also, you want to write those questions ahead of time, but during the interview, you may have another follow-up question to ask. It might be a behavioral type question. Any type of question that you would like to use is fine, but sequence it well and think about that, the questions that you want to use. Try not to use illegal questions, But if you do have one, make sure you identify it as an illegal question and also identify all of the other questions as well. Then finally, you get to the closing of the interview. You want to make sure that you thank the person for coming and then ask them if they've got any questions to ask, and also when you will be and how you will be letting them know that they either got the job or they didn't get the job. I like for a person to tell me if I did or I didn't. Either way, get a job, because it doesn't leave me hanging. I think it's rude to leave a person hanging for a week or two or three. You know, I'm sure after a week or two, if you don't know if you've got the job, I'm sure that's your answer right there. But still, I think it's more professional if you let the person know either way if they've got the job and how long it'll take before you make that decision. So good luck with the assignment. Make sure that you dress up professionally when whoever it is that is going to interview you. You don't have to record the interview. It is a mock interview, but I want you to do your best with it. Send that person that mock interview sheet and explain to them what it is that you're doing, and also send them the mock interview critique sheet so that they can critique you on how well you did or the things that you need improvement on for for your interviewing skills. Okay, have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.